Hey guys, quick video here. I just wanted to show you the view from up on our roof here. So we have made a little bit of a change to how we're mounting these particular panels on this fiberglass roof. Initially when we mounted these four 200 watt panels, what we did was on some of them we used actually a silver tape because we couldn't get the Turnabond at the time. It was a kind of like a roofing tape. We used to patch regular house roofs. That was fine enough. That didn't really unstick. It wasn't quite as sticky as a Turnabond, but it was, pretty good. As it warmed up, it became more malleable, which obviously here in the Mojave Desert, like that's kind of a concern, right, going down the road. But the other thing is where these panels back here, absolutely no problems whatsoever. The VHB stuck perfectly, as it always has. The tape on the front ones did not hold as well as I might have liked. So there was actually 1 foot on, I think it was that far front right foot, and I think it was a front left foot, so I think it was the opposite corners. Those did not actually stick underneath. So the Turnabond, we replaced some of the silver tape with the Turnabond just to be 100% sure. I think a little moisture got in there. So it did not adhere properly. It was kind of sticking up, and as a matter of fact, what was interesting is as you could actually hear, as temperatures would rise in the morning, you hear pop, and it would actually be releasing. So yeah, I don't mess around with that. Never had a problem in the past, but it must have been how it adhered here. So in order to combat that, what we're using now for this install, and this stuff is really good once it sets, it's Sikaflex by Sika. Sikaflex 252, and there's a bunch of different ones. You got to look at reviews. This seems to be one of, if not the strongest, one of the strongest ones they have in terms of adhesive. It also gives good gap filling properties. So one thing you might notice is our roof really slopes that way and it really slopes that way. So what we've done is we bent the feet. These feet are the wider kind of regular solar panel style, and they only give you so much. So we actually had to bend one in order to curve the roof, right? And then you kind of bend these ones out a little, all that good stuff. But on the front, we actually used custom brackets. They're just L brackets, a little bit stronger actually, and a lot more surface area. So with these guys, we need just a little bit more of a gap, and you want to kind of fill in, right? They're almost never perfectly level. This stuff though, put on a good bead, let it kind of squish out, and then kind of wipe up around there, and that seems to be doing the trick. So we've already done those two up there. Those are not going anywhere. So where with the VHB, you had some flex, right? Because it's a tape. Oh man, that was a pain to get off. Let me tell you what. These, absolutely no flex once this is dried. So you do have some time, right? Somewhere around. High strength moisture curing polyurethane adhesive. Store below 7 degrees Fahrenheit. Surface must be clean and dry. So we actually cleaned everything up with mineral spirits first, then with rubbing alcohol to get the oily residue off, and it worked like a charm. So all that said, I think it's a little messier obviously than VHB tape, but this is, I'm very extremely confident in this. Now I will say it's also a different story installing in a very dry climate versus the Pacific Northwest where it's very humid. So do without what you will. We are going to put a Turnabond over these just as a second layer, because a Turnabond does do a pretty decent job at also holding things down and just keeping the moisture for the most part. It's just a flashing. I have a lot of trust in that, and so nothing is ever given on us. That is awesome. However, the VHB tape, I still stand by it. It works, and so with these especially, I just wanted to give this a shot, and I'm very, very happy with the results. So you could definitely go either way. And I know Brian AZ has helped me remove these panels. George S has helped me install panels onto different motorhomes, including TPO roofs. It works great with the VHB, but as another alternative, especially if you want to be able to apply more adhesive, or you don't know, because there's different thicknesses of VHB. Apparently it's all the same adhesive, different thicknesses. I 100% would recommend this. My only concern now is where the VHB you can slide in, you can get those off, there's a way. This stuff is going to be probably harder to get off. But this is kind of designed for tractor trailers and panels, and making sure that under high stress panels, they're going to stay adhered. So I have a lot of trust in it. So if you guys use a different type of adhesive, leave a comment below for sure. But while I'm not by any means saying don't use VHB, what I am saying is that during our install, I think it had actually rained within 24 or 48 hours, and they seemed very adhered, but in the heat they did release. So you know, we're going with this method, and so far so great. I'll let you know how it holds up over time, but I'm thinking this is going to be a really good option. Once it's cured, it should be, I mean, just solid. So we've been letting this sit 24 hours, then put the Eternabond over. Make sure you clean again, right? Because you want to make sure any of the sand and all that. Yep. But otherwise, super happy, and now it's time to clean the solar panels. See you guys in the next one. Oh, and 2 words of caution when you get this, depending on the distributor. This particular one, not open, not the one we use. We got one extra just in case. This expired April 27, 2024. The one that we had used was actually November of 2025. So that's one thing. And then the other is that this came in the packaging just like this, no tip. That is something to know. They should come with a tip, and then you just need a caulking gun. It is thick. It's kind of hard to deploy, particularly suited to bonding applications of the manufacturer of trucks, trailers, and equipment. So yeah, would recommend, but just make sure you check that expiration date.